times do you have trouble finding a match to one of your socks? How about when you want to watch your favorite program? Can't find the remote. Ah! I asked my daughter the other night, I said, what is something you misplaced? She said, Dad, my keys. Sometimes even in my pocketbook, I can't find them. Well, what's at the heart of these situations? Orderliness versus confusion. Arranging myself and my surroundings to have greater efficiency. We're going to look at the Character First Bulletin this month, and we're going to see ways that we can develop orderliness in our lives. Of the 49 character qualities we work with, this one is my greatest struggle right here. One time I had a job, and I was an assistant to a cook, and we fed a lot of people and had special events. And I kept on telling her about this recipe I had for Greek chicken. I really wanted to cook this Greek chicken. I told her how great it was. And she kept on turning me down until this one huge event. And we had important people coming. And she said, you can cook your Greek chicken. So here I had the whole staff. I mean, everything was in my hands to be able to feed these people. Would you like to know what happened? I'll tell you in just a minute. Back to the book. 5 keys for building orderliness. You know, the other day I heard a man on the radio, and he talked about money. And he said, tell your dollars to obey you, don't obey them. So my wife and I decided to start a budget. We were going to be orderly with our money. The first key is set priorities. We set up a separate account and decided to put taxes, insurance, even vacation, those things that are important, and we're prioritizing where we're spending our money. Number 2 is set standards. And this really makes consistency in your decision making, where we're going to spend it and what our limits are. Number 3 is get organized. So we want to put certain things, certain places. That way we know where they are and when we need to get to them. Number 4 is avoid clutter. And I'll tell you what can happen. You can get your mind really cluttered up. Clutter causes busyness, and it's hard to think and focus. So we've been more focused, and we've gotten things in order. Number 5, put away right away. When we get bills in, we set them where they're supposed to be and pay them off when they're supposed to be paid. And it sure has made things easier. That one right there is probably one of the toughest, because a lot of times I'll get something in, I'll read it, and I'll say, well, I'll take care of it later. Sometimes I don't even fully read it. Have you ever heard of a company called Quadrant Homes? This company builds houses in 54 days. Well, how can they do something like that? From the time they get the contract to the time they complete it, they know where the people are supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. They have an orderly fashion for doing their business, and they complete it, and they have very satisfied customers. On the back page are some real practical ways. Maybe you have a closet that you want to organize, maybe a room, maybe a desk or office. These are very helpful hints. And I really like this bulletin, and it's great for leadership, whether it's in your family or whether you're leading a team of people. There's some discussion questions you can discuss with them, and it'll help to develop that quality. Here's a good one. Think of a time when certain details fell through the cracks. How can you prevent this failure from happening again? I think about last month, and before I developed this quality, I had a bill come in the mail, and I just put it on my desk, and it got caught in a stack of papers. I didn't pay it on time. Finance charges, late fee. Boy, I was upset about that. You know, neatness is not necessarily orderliness. We can take things and put them together, but if we can't find them and get them when we need them, we're not being orderly. There's also a tab here, and this is great as a reminder. You can tear this off and fold it. You can put it in the kitchen. You can put it on your desk, and the 5 keys on the back is a great reminder. That's a good thing. Well, back to the chicken story, the Greek chicken story. So I got all these people running around, putting everything together. We put the food on the plate. We send it out, and the people are trying to eat it. And it's like rawhide. You know what happened? I didn't check the timer, and we overcooked the chicken. I was so embarrassed. Have you ever tried to take on a task and you just haven't been organized and you make a mess of it? I felt like I could go back in and crawl inside the steam kettle. Well, what does orderliness do for us? Well, it saves time. It saves money. You know, there's a better representation of myself at home and at work. One thing it'll do for sure is reduce frustration. And it'll build confidence. I'll feel better about myself, and I'll do my tasks better. And that's a good thing. I want to tell you, being orderly has literally changed my life. I see things from a better perspective. Next month, we're going to talk about forgiveness. Can't wait. See you then.